Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. All 90 of you. Let me see. There we go. Huh. How's that thumbnail? Oh, man. Talking about being possessive. Anyway, let me see. Angela M., thank you so much for being here first. Hello, Mary H. And everybody else. The People's Duchess. Welcome, welcome. Okay. By the way, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Let's get on with it, shall we? Well, Meghan is just minding her business, living her best life, trimming her tree. Then all of a sudden, her piece was interrupted with all of this stuff about her father. Um, the more we hear, the more calculated it all seems. But let's check it out. By the way, executive producers Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, they are the executive producers of Masaka Kids. Have you guys watched it? I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet. It's just, I told you guys I had to go and run some errands today. And it seems like the day just got away from me. Next thing I know, I'm like, ooh, I better get some work done here. I had to go shopping for some new Christmas lights, the ones that I have. Um, I had to throw away like a whole set of lights. I changed the fuse, I changed a couple of bulbs, and it just was not going to work at all. So I bought some more. Um, what else? Oh, and also well, did I put that picture up? Yes, I did. I'll show you in a minute. I will show you in just a minute. Anyway, I'm gonna get around to watching it. I may watch it tonight because I got some work to do. Oh, I feel like I just got too much stuff to do these days, and the day goes by so fast. Oh, Compton Caligal, you did watch. Angela M watched. Okay, yeah, I gotta watch it. I'm gonna watch it. Because we wanted to do well in the ratings, right? And the only way that's gonna happen is by all of us making sure that we watch it. So yeah, we want the Sussexes to do well. This is what I got today. One of the squatties sent this to me. Remember? Someone said they were going to send me a magazine. So you should have heard me when I opened it up. I thought it was like a catalog, right? Years ago, I ordered an a girl doll for one of the kids, and they only just now stopped sending me catalogs. And I thought for certain, I said either that's AARP or the American Girl. What a combination. But no, it was this. So thank you very much for my beautiful catalog. And I have it in a very prominent position, and I cannot wait to go through it. I mean, just to physically have it, it's just like, I don't know what to say. I feel special. Oh, man. It doesn't take much to make me happy. So, thank you, Christina. Is it Institute? Thank you very much, Christina, for the. Oh, as a matter of fact, am I able to share that with you? Let me see here. Let me try. Let me try. There we go. There you go. That's it. I took a screenshot of it that day. See there, Christina. So thank you very much for the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Sussex, Harper's Bazaar, um, you know, the magazine. All right. Yep. And I've been smiling ever since. All you can see is two or three of my teeth. Okay. All right. Isn't that beautiful? And there's my little sorry, pitiful Christmas tree back there. Yeah, look at my little sorry, pitiful Christmas tree. See how it's listing to one side? I'm not through with it yet. I got to work on it some more. But oh, you are here tonight. Thank you so much. Yes, I got it today. Yeah, I'm so glad I was careful when I opened it because I thought for sure it was the American Girl or the AARP. I'm just like, what in the world is this? Why is they bothering me? Do I look like an American girl? Don't answer that. Do I look like an American girl? Oh man. Also, I have to tell you guys, the candles. I've already gone through two of the as ever candles. I went through the 084 and the what is it, the 518? Okay, I'm gonna say 518 is my favorite. It's my favorite. Um, but I've gone through both of them, and so I quickly cleaned out those vessels. Now, if you have the candle and you've never, saved something like that before, I'm going to tell you, it stains very easily. It stains. When the candle is burning out, if you don't trim that wick, and you know how you get that dark smoke that comes off of it will stain your candle holder, your vessel. So this is what I did. When it got close to the end, by the way, it gets very hot. Depending on how big the flame is, it gets very hot. I extinguished the flame and then I stuffed it. I mean, this is like when it was super low with wax. I stuffed it with paper towel, right? But I had to be careful because it was kind of hot and it felt like it was just about to burn my fingers. And I'm sticking my big hand down in there, right? So I started turning and turning and turning to try to absorb as much of the wax as possible, right? And then after that, I rinsed it out with some hot water and some soap, and then I started scrubbing it. So I used two different things. I used one of those eraser sponge things that helped a lot, but on the inside in particular, I used baking soda, just a damp sponge and baking soda, and I just went around the inside of it as much as I could. But it will stain a bit because the ceramic is not, it doesn't have that like glossy enamel finish on it, but it cleans up beautifully. And again, those are the two things that I used. I used one of those dry erase sponges, and also I used just a damp sponge covered with baking soda, or you can pour the baking soda in, whatever. And that baking soda is a mild abrasive, and it could help, get into those tight, porous areas and clean it out. And then after all of that, guess what? It still smells like the candle. You can still smell the candle. It's completely clean as it can possibly be. But when you lift it up to your nose, you can still smell those candles. And I believe that's because, like I said, it's very porous. It's very minute pores, very, very microscopic pores that you can barely see with the naked eye. But I believe that also holds the fragrance. So that is my little hint of how to clean it out once you're done with it. I suppose the dishwasher uses a mild abrasive, but I'm afraid to put it in a dishwasher. I'd rather clean it with hand, by hand rather. Okay. Well, if you do have the candles, do not throw those vessels out because they're absolutely beautiful. And again, the candles are pretty special. Okay. All right. Okay. Prince William celebrates 20 years of his patronage with the homeless charity Centerpoint after Princess Diana took him to the shelter when he was 11 years old. Princess Diana took William to a homeless shelter when he was 11 years old. And since that time, he has become the Prince of Wales himself. And if you recall, that is, as far as we know, the first time that Prince William slept rough with a black man. Yes. And according to the black man, that is proof positive that Prince William is not racist because he once slept with a black man on the streets late at night in central London at the Center Point. So surely he cannot be racist because he once slept rough with a black man. All right. Well, if they say so, right? We don't want to argue. Yeah, whatever you say, buddy. Um, well, it's true. It's not like I'm making it up. Everybody knows about it, and William is quite proud of it. If you remember when that whole thing about the baby's skin color came out, that was one of the things that happened was they went and found the guy, Seyo Obuki or so whatever his name is, and he spoke up for William. He said, "That's impossible. I've been knowing William for 10 years. So we have to take his word for it. If he says William's not that way, racist that is, then he's not that way." Okay. I mean, and then take a look on the left. There he is. They're catching up with each other. Just two friends um, after all these years. What could be more wholesome? Yeah, what could be more wholesome? Anyway, there was a cake marking 20 years since William has been the patron of Center Point. And as you can see, William, the rugged, masculine man that he is, you can see how he you see how he cuts into that cake like a real man, right? See the way his wrist is? That's masculinity on full display. Yeah, that just goes to show you what a rough and tough machismo, um, you know, brute of a man that he is. He should make a pretty impressive king. Yeah, that's with a K, right? Yes, he should make a pretty impressive king. See there? Might have to put a little splint on his hand, just, because it could be dangerous cutting into a cake like that. So we might have to put one of those little medical splints on his hand. No wonder everybody's smiling. No wonder everybody's smiling. Especially his friend there, Saya, whatever his name is. Saya Abuki. Well, oh, are they wearing the same blue shirt? Oh, you said suit. Why is William wearing the same blue suit? That is a good question. Why is he wearing the same blue suit? Oh, well. Where the boys are, that's where you'll find me. Oh, you know what? One of the squatties posted this, and this is something that will give you food for thought. It is very admirable that William takes serious the center point because, after all, there's not too many things about his work that he's interested in. But SK wants to remind people that Tyler Perry quietly buys houses for homeless women and families in crisis. Rihanna funds emergency housing units for homeless families in LA. The Rock has straight up bought homes for people who lost everything. Oprah built hundreds of homes for displaced families post Katrina. Bruno Mars paid for housing for 30 homeless families in Hawaii. Nicki Minaj has purchased homes for fans and families facing eviction. Lizzo covers housing for families made homeless by disaster. Taylor Swift gifted homes and paid full rent for people with nowhere to go. Shaquille O'Neal randomly buys houses for struggling families. Beyonce funds emergency housing and pays for shelter for women fleeing abuse. Snoop Dogg bought a home for a homeless mother after seeing her story for years. I hope this helps, and all the above information is available if you would like to dig deep. Rich people have been doing it for years, and that's how you can make an impact, not build to charge to people who are already down on their luck. William is building a portfolio, not tackling a problem, which is true. William is a landlord. He's a landlord. And as the um, Duke of Cornwall, he has inherited um, the Duchy of Cornwall, which makes him a very, very wealthy Prince of Wales. That means he has a $1 billion portfolio of properties, and he generates about, well, I think it's maybe 26 million US dollars a year, something like that. So before you start, building a shrine to him, just remember he's getting over like a rat, a fat rat. So anyway, I'll let that be the UK's problem to deal with. Let's see. That homeless housing they're putting up on the duchy land is so egregious and ethically wrong. And for a lot of people, isn't it like the ultimatum is that they probably have to leave wherever they're living now? I think a lot of times they have to relocate to some places more rural if they're like homeless in London or something like that. I'm not sure, but housing is such a huge problem across the Western world, and you don't really see too many politicians that are giving it the attention it deserves. But decent, affordable housing should be a right to anyone living in these already wealthy countries. Decent, affordable housing. Thank you for your comment. Miss Z, thank you so much for being here. Now, Meghan Sussex just played a quiet masterstroke, and the tabloids never saw it coming. A quiet diplomatic welfare check became the plot twist Thomas, Marco, and the tabloids never expected. Well, let's see here. This article was in the Medium, which I think is a blog, if I'm saying it right. Anyway, let me give you the link to the Medium. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a link to this actual article here. And I hope that's right. Let me see. Uh, Let me just make sure that this opens where it should. Uh, oh, no, that's not right. Oh, um, did that work? Let me see. Okay, it did. All right, just wanted to be sure. Lovely. So it says here, oh, be the first to hear about new stories from, I cannot pronounce that name. It's S-U, Sooth, Sute, Sute. Anyway, you know what? Let me go ahead and put my um, email in here because I have used their information before, and I think it's only fair that I establish an account with them because this is how they earn their money is from the advertisements and such. So it is very important that we support these people that are telling the Sussex's story in a very honest and forthright way without all that hateful bias. Okay, so now they have my email and they can send me updates and everything. Okay, that took me just that long to do that. So when you do click on that uh, link up there, please make sure that you establish an account with them. Okay, so a quiet diplomatic welfare check became the plot twist that Thomas Markle and the tabloids never expected when the two U.S. consular representatives walked into Thomas Markle's Philippine hospital room. You could have bought his ass for a nickel. I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. It says when the uh, when they walked into his hospital room this week, the Daily Mail and its orbit of professional Meghan antagonists felt something slip out of their hands. Control of the narrative. For years, Thomas Markle, Carolyn Graham, and the tabloids have relied on the same choreography. He makes a public plea, the media amplifies it, tabloids demand to know why Meghan hasn't called, and any private outreach she attempts gets immediately leaked, twisted, or weaponized against her. But this time, while they wait for the old script to play out, something else happened. Representatives from the U.S. Embassy showed up instead. It was a move no one, certainly not Thomas Markle, nor the tabloids, would depend on him. Or should I say, who depend upon him, expected. But it was precise, responsible, and devastatingly effective. It should have been. It was designed to be effective. A move rooted in strategy, not sentiment. Meghan has learned the hard way that any direct contact with her father becomes tabloid fodder within hours. Emails, texts, phone calls, none of it stays private. The worst. The absence of contact is routinely framed as proof of cruelty or neglect. By routing her wellness check through the U.S. Embassy, Meghan accomplished what direct communication could never achieve. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? I mean, after all, Meghan did work for the U.S. What was it? Not the consulate, but the U.S. Embassy in Buenos Aires. So she knows how these things work, right? Right. Well, there you go. A new number one, a neutral, professional, documented welfare check. No distortions. No, he said, she said. No Daily Mail exclusives about what she supposedly did and didn't say. The embassy's involvement creates a verifiable governmental record, one the tabloids can't twist, erase, or claim doesn't exist. Number two, protocol from emotional blackmail. I'm sorry, protection. Let me make this bigger so I can see it better. There we go. Protection from emotional blackmail. Thomas Markle has a documented pattern of publicly demanding contact while privately selling stories or leaking messages. Meghan removed herself from the emotional booby trap entirely. She ensured his well being without giving him access to her. And number three, a preemptive dismantling of a new smear campaign. The Daily Mail was ready, giddy even, for another round of heartbroken father begs daughter for contact. Instead, they got consulate officials walking into a hospital room asking Thomas to list authorized individuals for health updates. That wasn't just a checkmate. That was Meghan pulling a queen of the board entirely and saying, "We won't be playing this game ever again." Why this hit the tabloids so hard? The British tabloids depend on the idea that Meghan is cold, unreachable, unfeeling, and is the foundation of their 7-year fixation on her. So every time Thomas Markle appears frail and photographed, the narrative machine revs up. See, she won't even call. This time, however, Meghan didn't just call, she brought the US government. And unlike Thomas, unlike the Daily Mail, unlike the rotating cast of commentators who profit from hating her, the U.S. Embassy does not play sensationalism. Their actions are logged. Their visits are official. Their records are real. For once, the truth didn't have to fight through the fog of tabloid distortion. It was delivered to Thomas Markle by consular officer wearing badge. Consular officers wearing badges. Historical pattern and how she broke it. Every time Thomas Markle media storm has followed the same rhythm. In 2018, Meghan reaches out. He sells the messages. 2020, Meghan writes a private letter. He hands it to the tabloids. 2021 and 2023, Thomas and Carolyn Graham repeatedly claimed she doesn't contact him. Every time Meghan responds with silence, only for that silence to be weaponized. But this weekend's maneuver shattered that cycle. By using diplomatic channels, Meghan fulfilled her moral responsibility, protected her emotional boundaries, neutralized a smear before it began, and created a traceable record of compassion that cannot be sensationalized. This was just savvy. Yeah, this wasn't just savvy, it was evolution. A woman who has learned exactly how the game is played and refuses to lose herself inside of it. The human core of it all. The power of this move isn't in its cleverness alone, it's in its symbolism. I'm sorry, it is in what it symbolizes. Megan did what she always does. She acted with care, caution, and responsibility. But she also acted with wisdom earned from years of betrayal. This wasn't coldness, it was self preservation. It was boundaries with backbone. It was compassion executed safely. Thomas Markle expected to leverage public sympathy again. The tabloids expected to feast on another cycle of cruelty. Instead, all they got was the quiet professionalism of a diplomatic welfare check and the unmistakable message that Meghan now chooses protection over spectacle. Now, a final word. This was checkmate, but it was also freedom. Megan didn't embarrass her father. She didn't expose him. She didn't retaliate. She simply outmaneuvered a toxic dynamic that has drained her for years. And in doing so, she deprived the tabloids of the one thing they rely on most, a vacuum they can fill with lies. This was the ultimate boundary setting, a masterclass in grace under pressure, a move executed with intelligence, restraint, and clarity. Most of all, it was Megan saying without saying, you don't get to rewrite this story anymore. Yes, yes, yes. Now, let's give some flowers to our Duchess. Bloop. Thank you very much. Wait, thank you very much. And yes, bloop. Thank you for the super chat. I love that. Ingrid Sowers, welcome. Hello to Hazel Jones. Um, Fleur de Yucca. Am I saying it right? Fleur de Yucca. Fleur. That's French. That means flower. What is it? That's flower. Flower decanter. Nope. Flower something. That's what it means. Flower decanter. Okay. Now, I have a soundbite for you all. Oh, let me see. How do I do that? There we go. This is actually an old video, and for whatever reason, I've never seen it before. I repeat, I've never seen it before. But this is someone who was not exactly Team Sussex, but then something changed. So let me set this up for you, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. I can buy myself flowers, send a consulate to see Thomas. I wish that he'd take a shower. Oh, man.
Marco comments, and I'm not gonna lie, because when I heard about the show, it made me feel away. It made me check my
Okay, let me start that over again.
Marco comments, and I'm not gonna lie, because when I heard about the show, it made me feel away. It made me check myself and my own bias. I took some notes, and none of this is in any particular order, but I think some of you hating bitches really need to hear this, including myself, because a lot of us hate on that girl. And before I share my own personal thoughts and pre-existing biases against Meghan Markle, I do want to address some of the things that I've seen online. One of the first things is I saw a lot of you upset that she corrected Mindy when she didn't say her name as she prefers it to be said. You said that it made her seem obnoxious, arrogant, and unrelatable. I don't think there was anything wrong with her saying, hey, I would like to be referred by this particular name or title. And then she went on to explain why in the clip that I saw. Then there's some of you that say that she seems unrelatable. How many Duchesses of Sussex, or however it's pronounced, because how many do you know? Maybe you know Macon that works at your local watering hole or the one that filled up your tank this morning. But do you actually know a real Duchess? You don't. So there's not much about this girl's life that we non royals can relate to. She's married her way into the royal family. And whether you like it or not, she's brought her prince back to America. I saw this online, and this lady says, as someone who was called Oreo a lot as a child, I know why people really struggle with finding Meghan relatable. It's how she speaks: clear diction, thoughtful word usage, casually bilingual, no cursing or ubiquitous slang. She expresses herself too clearly to sound genuine. I notice something when she speaks. There's spaces and pregnant pauses in between each word. She smiles. She doesn't smirk. She smiles, and she's intentionally delightful looking when she talks to you. She makes an insane amount of eye contact. And I don't know if this is her personality or it's media training, because remember, this girl had a career long before we knew her as Prince Harry's wife. The way she purses her lips, the way she holds her hand, the way she tilts her head, this girl knows her angles. So it's not that she's unrelatable. You simply just don't know a real live Duchess who speaks with very clear intention. The thing that I've learned about human nature is that we all need to feel superior to someone. There's a very particular group or hued people that have been placed at the bottom of the caste system globally. The browner your skin, the worse off you should be. The darker your skin, the lower we expect you to be. You should be the servants of the world. And you should step aside and let their superiors do their job. You're only at their beck and call. And while we all know that's a damn lie, that's kind of how the system was created. But this Meghan, the daughter of a woman who has a hue of the people at the very bottom of the caste system, has managed to be at the very top and stepped on the heads of the colonists. She's become the cream of the crop, and she's risen to the top of the very country that was one of the first ones to kick off the transatlantic slave trade and the genocide we all know as global colonization. And you guys are not just under the bus. Let me go ahead and crawl right up under there with you. You see, when Meghan first was introduced to us as the first Black princess, I was like, well, she's mixed. She's nowhere near a phenotypical Black girl. Her hair's not like mine. She surely doesn't speak like me. We have different life experiences. Her new spouse and her previous spouse were white men. So it seemed to me like Meghan surrounded herself by whiteness. Maybe she found it more adaptable. Maybe it's just what she liked. Maybe she was just in proximity to whiteness. So I kind of side-eyed a little bit. But that was me being a hater. But that was my own bias just peeking out. Because just like you, Meghan Markle made me feel something. This is not just a cooking show. This is a show that's going to hold all of us accountable, to check our inner hater, and to work on some of our own internalized bias. So let's rewind back to the human need to be superior. You see, when the fat person, the ugly person, the Black or brown person starts to strut around and think they're all that, they attain a certain level of wealth or education or freedom, then those of us that have found ourselves superior to the fat, ugly, Black or brown person, we feel something and it's not good because they've triggered something innate in us. If they feel good about themselves, but they're meant to support me, but I know they're lower than me, what does this say about me? It almost evokes a certain level of fear in us. And don't lie like you haven't felt this, because I surely have. I'm just not afraid to admit it because I know how to check myself real fast. One of my favorite quotes is by President Lyndon B. Johnson, believe it or not. He says, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll even empty his pockets for you. For some of us, Meghan Markle has come in and shaken the notion that we should be looking down on her. How dare she be doing better than me? And others of us feel a bit of jealousy that she's freely, easily, seamlessly, and pridefully risen to the top. And did you know that after Reconstruction, there were some states that actually passed legislation because Black women had quit the workforce? Yep. And for those of you that don't know what Reconstruction is, it's basically after the US government made the enslavement of African peoples illegal. So you couldn't force them to do free labor. But what you could do is not hire them because they were Black and then fine them because they didn't have jobs. It's crazy how that thing all worked out. The US government is something. So you know what Black women did? They left the workforce. Instead of going into white American homes and raising, wet nursing, and nannying white babies and taking care of white families and cooking them meals, they retreated to their own homes to serve their own families. So actual legislation was passed. If you were a Black woman living that soft girl lifestyle and your ancestors had just worked for free for 400 years and you thought that you weren't going to work outside of your home for meager pay and leave your family to go and serve someone else, you were going to get locked up. See, that's the caste system that I'm talking about. No, I did not watch Bethany Frankel's video hating on talking about Meghan Markle. I typically don't consume her content, although I would like to have a sit down with her one day. No, I haven't gone to read any other think pieces. But what I did was analyze my own feelings, and I saw how much cognitive dissonance this girl who is cooking food and showing us how to prepare luxurious meals that I'm certainly going to make has pissed a lot of you off. So what I encourage you to do is, number one, stop trying to relate to this woman. Check your triggers, mind your ego, take your medication, call your therapist or your life coach and make an appointment with them. And if you think you've dug deep, you're not going deep enough. I am so loving this discourse that's appeared because of Meghan Markle's show. The poors are complaining that this woman is not relatable, and the rich and powerful are upset because she's now adjacent to them. As a matter of fact, she's stepping on their shoulders a little bit. So what do you think about the show? And if you haven't seen the show, what do you think about the discourse surrounding Meghan Markle? Her life, her entire existence, and the fact that she snagged a white man who was the highest on the food chain. That's why y'all really mad. I've been seeing the Meghan Markle comments, and I'm not going to lie, because when I heard about the show.
Okay. So that was kind of long, but I thought very, very brilliant. So first, we're going to give her some flowers here because she certainly deserves it. Now, I don't know her. I do not know her. I only watched this girl for the very first time. I added her link. Her name is Naja Hall, and that is her Instagram. So I'm also going to post that at the top of the chat. It looks like she has a lot of things going on. So let me see here. Okay, how come I can't? Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. So if you like to listen to that again, or if you would like to share it, there it is available for you right there at the top of the chat. Also, let me take a look here. Hen Pal, how long has it been? How long has it been? It's been a while, right? Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. So, yes, make sure you try that link. And you can see some of the other stuff that's... I haven't had a chance to, explore her social media, but I intend to do that very soon. One of the squaddies shared this on the, I guess it was the Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. And so that's how I saw that today. But I enjoyed that. And also it gave a bit of history. And these are the things that I try to articulate whenever I can, but not nearly as eloquent as that. But the idea that a Black woman is not good enough, or a Black woman doesn't belong in this space. There's so many of these tropes and assertions on a daily basis where they expect you to explain yourself. They want you to explain, why are you here? What is your business? I remember a long time ago listening to um, Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer Lewis, she is that all right? Yeah, Jennifer Lewis. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, anyway, Jennifer Lewis. She said she took a cruise and she booked a first class cabin. And whatever cruise this was, you had to have some money if you were on that cruise, right? And she said that people constantly questioned her, what kind of work do you do? So, what do you do? And what do you do? And the real question was, how is this Black woman able to afford this incredibly expensive cruise? And she knew exactly what they were talking about. Now, I want to believe that it was just an incredible curiosity because, yeah, you don't really see Black women in those spaces so often, but still, it's off putting and potentially rude if you have not had any kind of conversation with this person. I mean, they just come up, little small talk, and, well, what do you do? Well, what do you do? Now, I've had that happen to me before. I was in a space where people didn't expect to see somebody like me. That's right, a Downton Abbey exhibit. um, no, actually, I'm sorry. I think I missed the exhibit, but it was at a museum in Chicago, the Dreyhaus Museum, and it's a old Victorian, no, Gilded Age, Victorian Gilded Age mansion, and I struck up a conversation with someone in the gift shop, and I had mentioned some of the places I've been, like the real Downton Abbey, the Highclere Castle. And this man looked at me with such curiosity. He said, well, what is it you do? And at the time, I didn't have like any fancy job and certainly not anything related to travel, but I'd like to travel. So at a certain point, I saved money and I went on like a 2-month trip to Europe, backpacking, trains, all that stuff. And you could tell he was just amazed that I had been to some of those places he probably had never been to. And believe me, I believe this guy was, pretty comfortable financially. But again, I was in one of those spaces where you don't expect to see people like me on a Saturday afternoon. So, yeah, that happens. And a lot of times you just want to go somewhere and be another face in the crowd. You don't want to have to explain your presence. But that's really what it means is how could you do something like that? So, um, if you're not Black, I recommend just get to know a person before you start getting so curious because it can set off some emotions that are not comfortable. And I wasn't like angry or anything like that, but I kind of knew right away. I'm like, oh, there goes that thing. There goes that thing. So, yeah, there you go. Um, take a look at a couple of your comments here. Mm, okay. Let me see. Mary H says they try to take your happiness away by questioning you. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to believe that sometimes those questions are meant to, um, I guess, make you uncomfortable or remind you that maybe you don't belong here. Connie Bomber. Hey, Connie Bomber. Very well said. Absolutely. They're so disconnected. What is she all? What is all the commentary about slavery? She isn't a. What is that? Um, was it more to that? Am I missing part of it? She isn't a something. Uh, they try to take your happiness. Oh, I read that already. Um, okay, I'm gonna go on to something else then. All right. Now, Meghan releases new batch of jam and dog biscuits as Prince Harry's polo pal Nacho Figueras shows them off just hours before King and Kate Middleton troop in the color movement. Now, contrast that with the pictures Britain has been longing to see, frame by frame, the glorious images of Kate as she makes her return to public life as she continues her brave battle against cancer or precancerous cells, or cancer had been present, however she put it that day. Well, I never saw this before, but one of the squatties shared this and I just had to share it. The article about Meghan's dog biscuits got more than 3 times the volume of comments as the article about Kate at Troop in the Colors. Do you see that? Almost 6,000 comments about Meghan's dog biscuits compared to just 1,700 or so comments about Kate reappearing for the first time in 172 days at Troop in the Colors. Woo! I love it. You see why the monarchy is in the toilet? Do you see why the monarchy is in the toilet? Kate was outpaced by dog biscuits. She was overtaken by a vacuum sealed jar of dog biscuits. Now, if you can be outpaced, outmaneuvered, and outsmarted by dog biscuits, you might as well just go home. You might as well just go home. It's over with. Oh, let's see. I use the train. I take first class. I notice some looks, but here nobody dares open the mouth and ask you, but I know what they are thinking. Connie Bomber, I do you remember my story about the train? I got a couple of them. Now, when I was in the UK, I have to say everybody was very respectful, and I didn't have the least problem. Even when I went to some rural areas, I didn't have the least bit of problems. Now, I'm going to just say people were much nicer in Scotland. They were much nicer in Scotland. I felt at home in Scotland, even though I couldn't understand what they were saying. But I had a first class ticket and I was walking toward the first class rail car when one of those porters or whatever you call them, sir, may I look at your ticket? He wanted to make sure that I was supposed to be headed to the first class because I bypassed all those steerage compartments in the rear and went straight to the first class. Now, that was the only thing that I could say was possibly something just a little racist. Is that I believe this guy looked at me and made the assumption that I did not belong in the first class of the rail car. Hmm. So that happened to me. And of course, the other time was when I was racially profiled in Germany. Unfortunately, I've told that story several times. I'll try to tell it very quick. I was riding the train through Bavaria or wherever the heck I was. Anyway, I found myself sitting opposite someone from Hong Kong, spoke perfect English, Asian from Hong Kong, black man, Chicago. And we were having the nicest conversation, fun, laughing, like we were old friends. And at a certain point, I was like, excuse me. And I got up and I took my bag, and he was like, oh, I could watch your bag for you. I was like, nah, that's okay. I said, my bag is very important to me. I said, it goes every place I go. This is like a football. This is like the president's briefcase. He was like, oh, okay. So I went to the loo and I came back and I sat down and we talked some more. And then all of a sudden, I heard the rail car door open behind me. Now, remember, I'm sitting face to face with him, so he can see what's happening, but I can't. And all of a sudden, whoever opened up the rail car was standing right next to me. The train's moving now, so they just went from car to car. Next thing I know, this person was standing right next to me, two of them. And they said, German police. May I see your passport? Oh, sure. And so I gave it to him. And then the gentleman that I was speaking to, he also gave them his passport. And they got a little embarrassed because they were trying to call the numbers in, but the phone was not working. And so the other guy said, well, if you like, you can use my mobile. And the guy was just like, just kind of grunted at him. And so instead of using any phone, he just wrote the numbers down, and then they went on to the next rail car. So I was a little shocked by that. I'm just like, what was that about? And I asked the guy, I said, well, I couldn't see. I said, did they talk to anybody else before they came to us? And he said, nope, they walked directly over to us. Now, mind you, we were the only non-white people on the rail car. So I guess they must have been shocked to see a broke-ass Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker, because that's what we look like. We look like a couple of broke Charlie. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. And so that was one of those incidents that I am sure that I was being profiled. I wasn't upset. I was kind of expecting something like that. At some point, I was expecting it. And why? Well, at one time, Chicago was the most segregated city in the world, they said. So, of course, I kind of grew up with that type of stuff. And yeah, so that was that. I mean, they were respectful and everything, but I was just I was a bit shocked that they didn't talk to anyone else, didn't even look at anybody else. It's like, there they go right there. The poor excuse for Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. Let me see your ID, Chris Tucker. Okay. So anyway, as for our beloved Meghan, she has a lot of pressure on her because of some of everything. And it's kind of interesting because Meghan did not particularly grow up feeling that kind of pressure, only on occasion, and usually to do with her mother, not with her. And one of these days when she writes her book, I do believe we're going to hear more about Meghan's experiences as far as race is concerned. And that's going to be a very interesting book. We might have to wait years for it, but it will be worth the wait. I'd be so interested to know exactly what her experience was. Doretha Green, thank you so much for the super sticker. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, and thanks for being a member. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. But yeah, I must admit, I mean, I've been to some places, well, especially like when I went to Eastern Europe, you really don't know how weird it feels to be the only one in a sea of humanity. But I've had those experiences. But then you may wonder, why do you go to these kind of places? Well, the architecture is one of the big draws. Um, Also, I have always been so curious about Eastern Europe because of the whole 007 and the whole communist thing like that. That was always one of the things I was curious about. Seeing some of the places affected by the Second World War, lots of history and such. That's always been a big draw for me. And I um, I have been to some amazing spaces. And on some of my worst days, I can just picture some of the places that I've been, and all of a sudden, I don't feel so bad anymore because that was my dream, was to go here and to go there, and I was blessed to be able to do that. So, um, yep, that is something that I'll never forget. And it was the only time in my life that my sister actually said that she was proud of me. I was posting updates on Facebook, and she said she was proud of me. Now I don't know, for whatever reason. I guess it never came up like that before, but um, all of like my friends and coworkers and everything, they were kind of following me on my trip. So it really became something much bigger than it started out to be. And they were just like, we're vicariously living this experience with you. And I was like, really? Oh, okay. Okay. Hope I don't disappoint you. Kim Peaches says, Baron, do you and Squatties think Duchess will take the children with Harry to go to the games in the UK this coming year? I believe the UK are pushing the security coverage to be put back via King Charles. I do believe it is a very, very, very strong possibility. Yes. Um, we will just hope that Charles is able to go to the games. And this push, this last minute, all of a sudden push for security coverage, or at least to do a review, I'm pretty sure that there's a greater uh, purpose for that. It may actually be for Charles' transition. Charles may want his legacy intact, or he may want to improve his legacy before he goes to that storm cellar down in the basement of the St. George Cathedral at Windsor Castle. He may want to improve his public profile. I mean, that was so important to him in the past that he pretty much threw his kids under the bus. Um, he made life live in hell for Princess Diana because he wants people to love him. He wants people to respect him. So I have no doubt that there must have been some intervention from Clarence House. This is something that never should have happened in the first place. Um, and there's no guarantee that the kids will accompany their parents to the actual games. The kids may be in the UK, but not at the games. That's a possibility. Especially, let's think about this one. When the Sussexes went to Dusseldorf for the 1 year countdown of the Invictus games, Meghan was away from her children for what, 2 or 3 weeks? I am very sure that she does not want that to ever happen again. And if Charles makes his transition around that time, you know what I'm saying? It could be history repeating. We're here for the Invictus games. And next thing you know, we're stuck here during this period of mourning. So they're bigger. They could do just fine with the Sussexes away for a while, but I'm pretty sure they don't want that to happen. Um, yeah, but I think it's a very good chance that once all of this is straightened out, because Harry said he wants to show his children where he comes from. So we know for certain that that is something at play, is that he wants his children to explore. And I can't say I blame him. Home is home, no matter how effed up it is. Home is home. What's that? Yes, you know what? That's the other thing. What a boost to the monarchy would that be if those children were to walk Christmas Day with the rest of the family? In all likelihood, Willie Leaks will not be there because he's at war with his father. And who knows, maybe Charles just wants an opportunity to really stick it to Willie by having the Sussex children there. That is also a possibility. Those photos will shut down the internet. They will smash the internet. If anything like that were to happen, they will break the internet for certain. Wherever those kids appear over in the UK, that will break the internet that day. I don't doubt that the children will be safe, especially if they work out this stuff they need to work out. I don't doubt the children will be safe. Um, what they have been doing is a very dangerous punishment that should anything like that with security should never be personal. And that's one of the things that I really resent about the occupant of the White House is that he makes a lot of things that should be above politics personal. And those things should not happen. You don't play with people's lives like that. Also, I'm pretty sure that Chris Sanchez, the former Secret Service officer, I believe he will still be available for the Sussexes whenever they do, um, if and when Meghan and the children should come. I'm pretty sure Chris Sanchez will be there. And this guy um, knows security, right? He knows security. So if there's anything that doesn't look right, he will call them out before it even happens. Yeah, I agree. I don't mind them being there so Harry can take them around places, but I do not want them at the games. I don't want to I don't want to risk that for those children. Oh, okay, I did that already. Cypher Vid, how long has it been? It's been too long. Welcome. Hey, soul brother. UK people will be crying with joy. I hope so. I hope that's the only reason to cry is with joy. If they're in the UK and they're members of the royal family, I don't think they have any say about photos. If they're at a something at an event in particular, if they're at one of those official events, I don't think that you can have any say about photos. The Sussexes has made it very clear. Well, hell, he does that anyway. He does that anyway, allegedly. I wouldn't be surprised if every time he got up out of the chair, somebody rushes over with a wetback, allegedly, comically. Um, why are you getting me started like that? Oh, thank you very much, Cyphervid. Thank you very much. And speaking of that, everyone, please give a thumbs up. Please give a thumbs up. That is something that is totally free. A thumbs up. Okay. Well, that was that slide right there. Kate Middleton overtaken by dog biscuits. I'm here for it. Look at there. Poor Kate. New Meghan product unveiled hours before Kate's big comeback. Yeah, hours before Kate's big comeback. Oh, they were very upset about that. You know, they didn't have to report it. The thing is, they didn't have to talk about it. They're the ones who chose to cover it. Meghan was just, making some dog biscuits. Who hasn't made dog biscuits before? Okay, I've never made them, but that does not matter. Anytime that you're overtaken by dog biscuits, that just goes to show how popular you're not. Bum, bum, bum. Well, my brother just created a circus on YouTube and made my father the sideshow, and he put it $10 million Netflix price tag on it in his YouTube video. Now I have to admit I wasn't sure what the heck she was talking about. According to I Am Sage, Thomas Jr. has cut out. Oh my God, I cannot see that. Hold on a second. I got to go to another screen. There we go. That's much bigger. I can see. I can see. Okay. According to I Am Sage, Thomas Jr. has cut out Samantha completely. I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Sr. either doesn't know or doesn't care that Sam has been cut off. Clearly, Sr. is not begging to speak to his eldest, or should I say, oldest daughter. What's wild is how often Samantha is tagging Dan Wooten. That's her bestie. Why isn't Dan responding and trying to help Samantha plead her case? of elder abuse against her father by her brother? That is a good question. That is a good question. I mean, she has been on his show and they do seem to be best of friends. Why wouldn't he respond? Interesting. You guys, this is why I love the Sussex Squad. The Sussex Squad Detective Agency can come up with some stuff, can't they? They can come up with some stuff. Now, having said that, take a look here. People, let me tell you about my best friend. See there, no trip to Florida would be complete without seeing the wonderful Samantha Markle, a true American patriot who tried to warn the royal family and the people of Britain about the destruction her sister was about to bring us. Yeah, I just wanted you to see that picture because when they say besties, that's what they're talking about. They are close or have been close. So, anyway, it continues. Now Thomas think he's the Jerry Maguire of my dad's recovery. If Tom wanted, she's speaking of her brother, if Tom wanted money from Netflix, that should have been in private, not publicly on YouTube, while my dad is in bed recovering, not seeing what Tom does. And then one more time, she did she linked it to Dan Wooten. Now, Quinn says, meanwhile, Dumb and Dumbest Samantha Markle and Thomas Markle Jr. are online fighting. Wasn't this all supposed to be about their father's health? Now he's calling her crazy. She's calling him money hungry. And the whole thing looks less like concern and more like a spotlight and money war. Both of them are trash. Mm, mm. Ain't this just juicy? Ain't this just juicy? I am loving it. I am loving it. Um, hmm. Uh oh. Okay. Okay. So there you go. Now, this is from Feminagra. Why Megan Sussex used officials to contact her father and how the Daily Mail twisted it. Also, you guys, please make sure you sign up for Feminagra. I am going to put the link so that you all can sign up for Feminagra. Feminagra and the Medium and somebody else, they always write these great articles in relation to our faves. And they're not asking for any contributions, but they do make money from your ad from the ad revenue that they generate. So please, please, please make sure you sign up. Give them your email so you know that they can keep in touch with you, and you can get the latest stuff as soon as possible. It's really uh-oh, can you all hear me? Well, let me make sure. Let me make sure. Check 1, 2, 3. Yep, I'm here. Perhaps try to refresh. Somebody sent her a message. Tell her to try to refresh her thing. her electronic device. Okay, please do that for me. All right. Where did I leave off? I was here. Okay. All right. Okay. So, the publication of Thomas Markle's medical emergency on Wednesday, 3 December 2025, triggered a fast wave of coverage from the Daily Mail. The outlet had reported Carolyn Graham inside his hospital room in Cebu, Philippines, gathering quotes, filming video, and shaping the surgery into a dramatic plea aimed at Meghan Sussex. See, when they say Megan Sussex, you know that's a Sussex friendly space. Thomas told Carolyn Graham about losing his leg before he informed his own children. His choice shows how closely he ties private family matters to the Daily Mail instead of people nearest him. The paper published photos of Thomas in bed and pushed the idea that he had heard nothing from Meghan. Hours later, Meghan's spokesperson confirmed that she reached out on Friday, December 5th, through official channels. That single fact challenged the foundation of the Mail's coverage. The story showed how the paper shapes narratives to profit from a long estrangement that began in 2018. Thomas Markle's action and his ongoing partnership with the Daily Mail um, drives this estrangement. So, um, the hospital scene built for headlines. Dr. Neil Sonico carried out the surgery to remove Thomas Markle's left leg below the knee after a severe blood clot cut off his circulation. The hospital later confirmed that Thomas was moved out of intensive care and into a room. The Daily Mail released the news of the hospitalization on the 3rd of December, the same day Meghan's Netflix holiday special premiered, which raised questions about the timing and the motives behind the announcement. Now, let me just say, they, um, Thomas Markle knew that that leg was bad. And any layperson knows that without that circulation, and if your leg is turning colors, in all likelihood, you're going to lose that leg. You're going to lose that leg. And I'm not saying for certain that he had to know what was coming, but I just want to um, make the case that if they chose to, let's say, savor the announcement until it was most advantageous, they could have very well have done that. They could have easily have done that. All they had to do was just wait. Now, I know that sounds unreasonable. Who would have a dangling, lifeless piece of flesh hanging off of their body like that? Um, well, it is life threatening. That infection could very well take you out of here. But it seems like Thomas Jr., Thomas Sr., and Samantha, they all seem like some very money hungry individuals. And I do think that anyone who risks destroying someone's wedding day is capable of anything. And for all we know, there may have even been a schedule for the operation. We don't know how their medical stuff work over there. different rules for different countries. That's all I'm saying. Let me take a look at a couple of your comments here. Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super sticker. And as always, thank you for being a member, a moderator, and also thank you for helping build so many of these channels by your early subscriptions. Caroline sees Thomas as a father figure, but what does she really gain by all of this? Caroline is the only one benefiting from this shenanigan. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if she's there, and I hate to sound morbid, but if she's present when they pull the sheet over Thomas Markle's head, and I do hope that that doesn't happen for a very long time, but if she's present, I mean, that is the scoop of a lifetime. You know, years ago, when I used to praise Omid Scobie, a few of you all used to tell me the same thing. He's still a reporter. He's still a reporter. Uh huh. But he's still a reporter. And you know what? You all were right. I tend to want to see the best in everyone, but I accepted what I was told because I realized that it is true. He's still a reporter. And you just never know when a reporter is going to turn on you. Now, as things go, I do believe he has proven a certain level of friendship, albeit from afar, to the Sussexes. As far as we know, there's no direct relationship with him. Um, but there could be. But either way, our Duchess is also very trusting of some people that we are not particularly keen about. So, yeah, she's definitely getting something out of it, and she expects more of something. And the fact that taking that letter caused a lawsuit for the Daily Mail, and yet she is still embedded in Thomas Markle's life lets you know that they are expecting an even greater payoff. She wouldn't be there for no reason. She's not financing these trips back and forth herself. So instead of a simple medical update, the Daily Mail constructed a storyline designed for emotional impact. Carolyn Graham flew 22 hours from the United States to Cebu. She interviewed Dr. Sanako, photographed Thomas in his hospital bed, and gathered quotes aimed at Meghan. By the way, I don't know if you've seen those photos, but just in case you haven't, he looks pretty grisly. He looks quite disheveled. In other words, he looks a complete flipping mess, a big sloppy mess, a slob. And I know you're thinking, well, Baron, he was in his hospital bed. He had just had surgery. Well, he must have surgery every day because he always looks the same. He always looks like someone needs to take a sponge and soap and just scrub him down real good, or get in a convertible and drive him through a car wash or something. I could just imagine. Ugh. Anyway, but that's Thomas Markle Sr.'s business. I'm not going to get in that man's business about his hygiene. He just, for all I know, he may be a very clean person. He just looks sloppy. And again, it is none of my business. None. So I don't take back what I just said, but yuck. Let me see here. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, well, he doesn't look so bad there. He really doesn't look so bad there. Tugboat Tommy. There you go. Tugboat Tommy. They decorated his hospital room with tugboat wallpaper so that he would feel more at home. And then also, they added a bow to his hair so that his appearance would be softer for the American audience. You know what I mean? They didn't want him to look like some hobo that they just dragged in and performed surgery on. So, to soften up his appearance, they added just a little delicate bow to that coif of hair hanging off to the side. I think he looks beautiful. Yes, he does. Bless his heart. He looks absolutely beautiful. See how that softened up his appearance? He doesn't look nearly as yeti as he often looks, right? I know. I know. Okay. What's that? Thomas Markle is a big jerk. He is. Wow. I wish I could share this with you. This fox is chasing a chicken, and the cat sprang into action to save the chicken. Wow. And this is not a this is a ring camera. This is not a I know I shouldn't be telling you about it if I'm not going to show it to you. Let me turn it off. I'm always looking at stuff out the corner of my eye like that. Sorry. I didn't know there was that much action in the farmyard. Okay, so where were we? Um Carolyn Graham did not appear in Cebu Um, for the first time. She has been to Thomas Markle's preferred point of she has been his preferred point of contact for years and has covered every major rupture in his relationship with Meghan. Graham co authored the 2019 Mail on Sunday article that published and distorted Meghan's private letter. She photographed Thomas for exclusives in 2018 after the stage paparazzi scandal. She returned for follow up interviews in 2020, stayed close to him during his 2022 stroke. Her presence at this latest health emergency follows a clear pattern. Thomas turns to her before returning before turning to his own children, and the Daily Mail receives privileged access to every crisis that involves him. Now, people say that this is a financial relationship, and just imagine the Daily Mail is worth a few $1 billion, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure they have enough petty cash, allegedly, to keep Thomas Markle Sr. up to his nipples in beer and chicken wings. Why Meghan used protected channels to reach her father? The Daily Mail's framing left out key facts. Meghan contacted her father through protected government channels because any private call or message would be at risk of being recorded or passed straight to the press. She learned that lesson after winning the 2021 High Court privacy case against Associated Newspapers for publishing her 2018 private letter to her father. Since then, she has avoided direct communication that could be leaked. Now, let me go here. Oh, by the way, that was from the other day. I don't want to die estranged from Meghan. Could you imagine Thomas Markle using that type of grammar? I don't want to die estranged from Meghan. Does that sound like a newspaper columnist, or does that sound like someone's father? I don't want to die estranged from Meghan. I want to meet my grandkids and Harry. Do you remember when Thomas Markle Sr. said, well, I just want to see the grandkids. I want to see Harry. This is what he said a long time ago. We can all meet up somewhere and then take a picture. Now, when he said take a picture, that was the instructions that he had been given. They have rehearsed. They have rehearsed this scenario. If and when Meghan, Harry, and the children appear, which I hope is never, they have already made sure that he takes photos. And for all we know, any place that he has ever lived, they may have possibly have had the place prepared for a visit, if you know what I mean. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But what was that? I was just talking about a Ring camera and the chicken and the cat and the fox. What if they had something to record a chicken, a cat, and a fox? Allegedly. Let's see. Is it Adri? Thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. You know, so brother, we've heard that before, haven't we? It seems like they got something on him. Now, this is interesting right here. Meghan Sussex contacted her father through protected channels because any private call would be leaked. She learned that after the 2021 High Court privacy win against the Daily Mail. For publishing her private letter, she also asked the U.S. consulate in the Philippines to check on Thomas and confirm his condition. Thomas Markle Jr., Meghan's estranged half brother, then proved why she chose safety by saying all updates go through Carolyn Graham. This is what he said. All updates go through Carolyn Graham, a Daily Mail journalist, at the Mail on Sunday. His own words show the Daily Mail is the Markle's main point of contact, not Meghan. Okay? Their main point of contact is Carolyn Graham, not Thomas Markle Jr., not Samantha Grant, and certainly not Meghan. If it's something you need to know, then that is the means by which you will learn. Now, let me share the words with you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, that's not right. That's the E. How am I not spelling that right? Okay, that's better. And still, I don't see it. I wonder what that is. Oh, well, never mind. I wanted you to hear his words, but I'm not able to access it. Oh, yes, I can. Hold on a second. It's so much more interesting if you hear his words. Okay, I think I got this.
I'll give you updates here. And Carolyn Graham of the Mail on Sunday has been an amazing friend of my father for over 7 years now, since the beginning. And they've developed a great friendship. So I trust her. She's doing a great job. She's never thrown anybody in the family under the bus. And she does amazing reporting. So I want to make that very clear that that's where your news is going to come from, and me, and a barbecue chicken wing. That's where it's going to come from. And that's it. Everybody else, they don't know anything. They just assume, and they just, they get their news from here or the Daily Mail. That's where it comes from. Mail on Sunday.
Okay. I told you it's so much more interesting if you hear his words. He has just made it very clear. Do not listen to Samantha. Do not listen to anyone else but Carolyn Graham through the Daily Mail. And chicken wings. How did I know chicken was central to the story? Huh? How did I know chicken was central to the story? Apparently it is. That is some sick, sick stuff here. That is just repugnant. It is sick. Thomas Markle Jr. confirmed why the caution is necessary in his own recording. He said all updates about his father will come from Carolyn Graham at the Mail on Sunday, describing her as his father's amazing friend of 7 years and the person he trusts to share information. Well, if that's the case, he don't need to be around Meghan, does he? He also said she has never thrown the family under the bus, and that if you don't count Meghan, and that the public should expect all news to come from Carolyn and himself. He put her before himself. His statement made it clear that the Daily Mail is the family's main point of contact, not Meghan. Meghan's decision to rely on secure channels reflect that reality. Any direct outreach would likely become tabloid story just as it has in the past. Now, why the American consulate? Why the American consulate? Oh, let me get that face off the screen because I cannot stand this person. Ooh, I cannot stand him. He is so triggering. The Daily Mail would go on to report on Monday, December 8th, that the two representatives from the United States consulate in Cebu arrived at Thomas's bedside. This visit was not a surprise for anyone familiar with diplomatic procedures. It came after Meghan sought official updates about her father. Counselor agents, I noticed everyone's saying counselor, but I thought it was consulate. Counselor agent Glenn Ivan Loop confirmed they were sent at the request of the United States Embassy in Manila. He asked Thomas to create a list of people authorized to receive health updates and well-being updates. This step showed that Meghan used a secure and transparent process. The Daily Mail's story did not mention this context. Instead, the paper implied confusion and treated the visit as proof of heightened alarm. Now, you know what? You know what? If there is ever anything legal to happen in the future, this is a way to guarantee that everything that has occurred is official, that it is documented. The time, the date, and the location is documented. The visit follows routine protocol. The officials were checking on an American citizen who had major medical event outside the United States. Thomas told the Daily Mail that the email Meghan used no longer works, and his son has confirmed that updates about him now go through the Daily Mail journalist Carolyn Graham, expecting Meghan to call a phone that could be monitored or accessed by media outlet she successfully sued is not realistic. Harry is also suing the same publisher for unlawful information gathering, which makes that type of contact unsafe and unreasonable. One of the consulate officers mentioned he enjoyed suits. That detail revealed an awareness of the public interest surrounding Thomas and Meghan. The Daily Mail still attempted to treat the visit as proof that Meghan had stayed silent. By that point, People magazine, NBC News, and Reuters had confirmed that Meghan reached out on Friday. Daily Mail pushed for a phone call because it can shape, quote, and sensationalize a call to create another round of Markle family exclusives. A protected diplomatic email blocks that tactic. I repeat, a protected diplomatic email blocks that tactic. The paper cannot spin it or sell it or turn it into a news headline. The Court of Appeal ordered this same publisher in December of 2021 to issue a front page apology to Meghan for unlawfully printing her private letter. The tactics that worked in 2018 no longer work now. Meghan's response showed a clear strategy. She used protected and fully documented channels to reach her father, leaving no room for the Daily Mail to twist or sell or reshape the details. By involving U.S. officials, she removed the tabloid's unusual access point and ensured that any contact remained secure. The shift was immediate. The dramatic ICU narrative faded once her outreach became a matter of record. It sure did. The move demonstrated public planning from someone who has learned through experience how to protect herself from the media pipeline that thrives on distortion. The latest coverage of Thomas Markle's surgery showed how the tabloid can shape a story when it gains full access. To a vulnerable patient, Carolyn Graham's presence inside his room recreated a pattern that has defined every crisis since 2018. Thomas has shared private details with the Mail for years. From stage paparazzi photos, excuse me, from stage paparazzi photos before Meghan's wedding to the release of her handwritten letter. The record explains why any direct contact from Meghan would be exposed, recorded, or turned into content. Nothing in Thomas's recent behavior, including his son's claim that all updates come through the Daily Mail journalist, suggests a safe or private path for her. The visit from the U.S. consulate confirmed that Meghan acted with care and followed the correct process. She used a protected channel because past attempts to reach her father ended up in paid interviews and tabloid exclusives. The Mail removed that context and focused instead on hospital staff who would not have would not have been aware of diplomatic outreach. That framing helped the outlet present her as unresponsive while avoiding questions about its own role, in keeping this estrangement alive. So, anyway, that was from Feminagra. Thank you very much, Feminagra. As always, there's a link at the top so that you can give them your email so that they can send you information like this directly rather than filtered through me. Ruth C., thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you for being here tonight. Okay, so there you have it. There you have it. And right here, Miss Historian, with a background in history and a sharp eye for media narratives. This is the lady who writes the Feminagra. That's her pen name, by the way. One of the derangers was trying to make the case, well, I don't trust anything from someone who doesn't use their real name. Why, so you can try to dox her? I don't think so. No, that's okay. I think her writing has been superb, and it has constantly have demonstrated a Sussex friendly, fair, and balanced style of writing. So I trust Feminagra. Yeah, they just want to go after her. That's all they want. Well, anyway, as I said, Thomas Markle seems to be very comfortable in his hospital room where he has a long road of recovery ahead. In the meantime, I guess he can just count money in his dreams, all the money that he allegedly is making from this. Imagine that you are having a risky surgery, and the first person you call is a tabloid reporter. This has been going on since 2018. Essentially, Meghan lost her father in 2018. Not to sound so morbid, but that's pretty much what it adds up to. Um, is that while he lives, she really cannot have access to him for fear of that becoming a weapon to use against her. Because whatever she says, whatever she does, would never be enough. And for those of you who may have forgotten, or maybe you just didn't know, Carolyn Graham is the one who started that whole stink with the Pat Tillman Award. She went as far as to speak to Pat Tillman's mother and took her words and used it as a weapon against Harry to try to build a case for Harry to not receive an award that he was more than eligible to receive. That's Carolyn Graham. Carolyn Graham is also the individual that started the whole thing about the legends of aviation. I believe on that occasion she even showed up. She possibly, I believe that was her that interviewed Prince Max, whatever his name is, a real German prince. She declared that he was a fake prince, even though his parents and his lawyer told her to cease and desist. This is not true, and you don't have a right to say that. But she wrote an article saying, "How low can Harry go? Why would he hang around someone like this, a reality star?" And so on and so on and so on. Building a case against Harry for the Legends of Aviation Award. And I just think it's so awful that she uses every ounce of energy that she can muster to try and destroy Harry and Meghan. And I don't believe most people know that this person is the one that is at Thomas Markle's bedside. I believe most people would find that rather strange. Not the people that are hateful and wouldn't like Meghan no matter what, but this is unusual for a reporter whose paper has been sued by the subject of most of their stories to become friends with that person's father. Literally with him through earthquakes and major surgery, heart attacks and strokes. You name it, she's there. And it has been reported that theirs is a financial arrangement. And this person is too gullible, too naive, or just do not care that obviously she means to be there when he takes his last breath so that she can report that, so that she can weaponize everything that has happened since 2018 against Meghan. That's what her intentions are. I won't even throw an alleged in there. That's what her intentions are. Well, now she says that he's a father figure. That's what she says, which doesn't mean that other things are not going on, but that is the spin that she puts on it. Okay. Wow, 744 people. It was just 756. You guys, please don't forget to do a thumbs up. Thank you so much, everyone that's here. Remember, this is brought to you free on the YouTube, but it would be great if you got your own membership. Memberships at Royal Sussex start at $4.99. So all I'm asking you is to spend what you would spend on a cup of coffee once a month to help support this channel. That's not too much to ask, is it? Now, there are some memberships that are higher, but that is where we're starting at $4.99. I knew when I looked at Thomas Markle the first time, I knew he was no good. I knew it. I knew it. I did not want him to walk her down the aisle. I said, something is wrong with him, and I do not want him walking her down the aisle. That just that sight of him and the fact that he had not met Harry at that point, and for whatever reason, he was living in Mexico. Nothing wrong with Mexico, but I just thought that was really, really strange. So I did not like him. I really, really did not trust him the first time I seen him. I didn't trust him. I thought he was a lousy individual. I just had a hunch. And all these years later, I feel very justified in everything that I said about him. He is lousy. He is an awful, filthy, nasty individual, not fit to be anybody's father. Terrible person. Kate kicks off Christmas. You guys, Every so often I like to quote people. Now, take a look at this one here. Take a look here. Queer Lips of Truth 2. I know that is quite a name, isn't it? It says here, nobody in London came to see the royal family at the public Christmas event, probably because London isn't British anymore. The monarchy will not survive mass migration. Well, I don't I don't have to tell you what kind of person wrote that. But in response to that, Queer Lips of Truth 2 said, why are these B words running with this cruel and fake narrative? Um, I tell you, you guys know that I am very liberal about migration and immigration. And one of the reasons why I say that is because countries like my country and other Western countries have made things pretty bad in other countries. And because of that, people have to leave their homeland in search of opportunity. I don't think most people want to leave, but these fake wars and overthrowing leaders causes a lot of migration. Look at Venezuela, right? Look at Syria. Look at all these places. Lebanon. So anyway, that being said, this person assumes that the mass migration has changed the demographics in the UK, which it has, and that people are not assimilating. And because of that, nobody's going to watch Kate's Christmas special. Well, I'm here to tell you that migrants or not, nobody's interested in watching one of the most privileged women in the land flexing at Christmas. Kate views inherited wealth while a nation struggles to pay bills. Kate is surrounded by the finest of everything while people are struggling and they want people to take time out of their day so that they can watch her Christmas special. I hope not. I hope not. So, what happened on the 5th, they recorded the entire thing and now it's in post production. They're going to edit and try to make something cohesive out of it. And then I believe it's going to premiere on Christmas Eve. Now, one of the most bizarre things that they did, not unusual, but just when Kate supposedly played the piano, it was either before or after the event. Kate wore the same clothes, a red outfit, and then she sat at the piano like the Phantom of Westminster Abbey. The Phantom of Westminster Abbey uh, played a song, I think it was called Johnny One Note or Three Note Johnny, whatever it is. It was something that a child could have played. And she was backed up by a soloist that also played the guitar. And that was her contribution. Okay, fine. But other than that, there is no big groundswell of excitement or support for Kate Middleton. Yeah, I know. I know. And listen, like I said, it may not be popular with everybody, but I have been very liberal about migration. If you don't want people to come, stop messing up other people's countries. And that goes for France and for uh, who's the other ones? Oh, the UK, the United States, and anybody else that's getting in other people's business. Oh, okay. There we go. This is what I was looking for. I love Ministry of Hacks. Now we haven't listened to him for quite some time, but here goes.
Happy Monday. How the heck you doing? They do say, don't they?
Uh-oh. Let me do that right.
Morning, friends. Happy Monday. How the heck you doing? They do say, don't they, that a picture paints 1,000 words. Well, there's 3 pictures here, 2023, 2024, 2025. Does it go some way to explain what might have happened to Kate, Catherine, whatever we're calling her this week? And before we get started, internet sleuths, do your stuff. Who's this guy here who is present in every single photograph throughout the years, but in 2025, this year, is staring at William rather than taking part in the carol?
What he's talking about. Do you see the red arrow? I know you can't see it clearly because this picture is not big enough, but I will go and look for that photo. And then if you guys know who he is, Hazel Jones, then let us know. Okay.
Contest. I find this image a bit creepy. Anyway, what happened between 2023 and 2024 to Kate, Catherine? We don't know. The media have given us some explanation in terms of the cancer. Look how happy she is at the top in 2023. Look how combined and happy they seem as a family. 2024, it changes. Their whole demeanor is completely different. 2025, this year, they look absolutely miserable as sin. Now, don't get me wrong. Every family is like a roller coaster. You have your high moments, you have your low moments, but the difference in the years, it's plain to see. You can't hide from photographs. And these have not been amended. And thank you to the TikTok person who follows me who sent these on. I don't know who did the collage, so I can't thank them. The picture tells the story. As usual, my thoughts, comments, feelings are not important. Yours are. Comments are open. Let me know what you think. Who's this dude? Morning, friends. Happy Monday. How the heck you doing? They do say don't.
Okay. So I'm trying to find a photo of that guy. Wait. He's at every one of them. That's true. Okay, I think I got him. It's not so clear. Let me try to see if I can find a clear one. And then if you know who he is, let us know. Let us know, let us know, let us know. You see him there with the red tie? He seems to be there every year. Who is that person? He seems to be there every year, but we don't know who he is. Also, the 3 photos that he was talking about, I know you couldn't see very clearly because they were so small, but yes, the top photo, Kate looks pretty happy. The kids look miserable. 2024, Kate looks miserable and everybody else looks miserable. And of course, now William has a beard. And then 2025, which is what you see there, again, everybody looks sad and miserable. Yeah, that's a split photo right there. William should actually be on the other side. But yeah, that's interesting, right? Now, there's something else I want to show you. I shared this yesterday. I'm going to share it again until I get tired of sharing it. And that is the lack of enthusiasm on the streets. The total lack of enthusiasm. You would think that people would have shown up with them. You see that? I mean, it's just like dead silence. And you know what? This time last year, do you guys remember when they said that? I mean, because take a look, 2023, William did not have a beard. 2024, he did have a beard. And that's around the time when they said that Charlotte took one look at him and burst into tears. And that was a slip because had they not said that, we would have been more inclined to believe that Will and Kate actually do live together. Obviously, they do not, because I can't think of any reason why he could have grown a beard in a period of time where Charlotte, would not have seen it growing out. By the time she saw it, he went from clean shaven to looking like a vagabond, a hobo. So I'm just saying, they kind of told on themselves. Well, supposedly they had a bunch of celebrities there. Now, one of the people that was supposed to show up did not. She was a singer, I think. And rumor has it that she didn't show up because she thought that appearing at this occasion that is not very popular, and it's because she has a younger audience, they were saying that she didn't show up because this could have potentially damaged her brand. Huh? It had the potential of damaging her brand. And I do believe that there could be some truth to that. William did a reading and Kate did not. And I was wondering, why did Kate not provide a reading? What is it about Kate that they decided is probably better for everyone that she does not read any scripture or anything like that? And then it hit me. Boom, it hit me. Why didn't she do any reading?
Face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
That's when I realized why she didn't do any reading, because she tends to reimagine the English language. And how can you be the Queen of England, along with Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland? How could you be the Queen of England when you cannot even use the English language properly? You know what I'm saying? That would cause so much embarrassment.
You'll face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
Yeah, that could not happen. That could not happen. It's just too dangerous. It would be too dangerous. So they decided that it was probably better that she didn't. Now, I tell you, if she really wanted to put this, whatever she calls it, on the map, she need to make up with her sister-in-law, and I mean big forgiveness. She needs to make up with her sister-in-law and then surprise everybody by having Meghan come out and do a reading. But that's not going to happen. Anyway, after all, they are the same age. And, well, no, Meghan's actually older, isn't she? Am I being shady for pointing that out, that Meghan is actually the older of the two of them? I mean, she is. So I'm just saying Meghan is older than Kate and hasn't seemed to age in 7 years. If anything, I think she's going backwards. She's like the Benjamin Buttons of princesses. But see what scheming and all of that cloak and dagger stuff, see what that does to you? It ages you rapidly. Poor Kate. She couldn't help it. She was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. or how does the other lady say it? He was born with a silver foot in his mouth. Maybe that explains this.
You'll face the daily challenge at finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
Now, I always like to be fair here at Royal Sussex. And all right, so maybe that was not her finest moment. And I don't want to leave you with that impression. So I'm going to find something where Kate actually is not as nervous or, whatever she was going through. I want you to hear the real Kate Middleton.
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her. And she's obviously, she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously to this day and, going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot and, very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
When I listen to that, seconds fly by like minutes, the minutes like hours, and the hours like days. I just never know how long I've been in this seated position. I lose all track of time and space. Oh, tugboat Tommy. Anyway, you guys, I do believe that's it for today. I got one more thing I want to show you here. I didn't get a chance to check it out myself, but they say that this article is pretty good. Good, rather. Oh, see there, I'm starting to talk like Kate. It's pretty good. This article is pretty good. It is, let me see, what magazine is that? The Eye Paper? Yes, it's in the Eye Paper. So I'm going to check it out myself. The Eye Paper. Prince Andrew. I'm not going to bother with all that former Prince Andrew nonsense. He's still Prince Andrew, whether we like it or not. So, well, I don't see the exact article, but I tell you what, take a screenshot of this so that you can find it when you're looking for it. If you choose to read it, take a screenshot so you'll know what the article is supposed to be. Okay? And with that, I'm going to say goodnight to you all. I'm going to go back here and show you the surprise I got in the mail today. Well, not a real surprise because I knew it was coming, but still I was very, very thrilled to have it. Okay, where is that? There we go. My own copy of the Harper's Bazaar Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, meets her moment. So thank you very much to the squatty that sent this to me. I am so happy to have it. I thought it was like some catalog or something like that, and much to my surprise, it was the real deal. So thank you again, Christina. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. And thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who has a membership. Also, thank you to Geraldine White. Miss Geraldine does not enter the chat, but right now she is courageously caring for her sister, who I think her sister is, how old is her sister? I think her sister is it 83? Anyway, she herself has had health problems and she's been caring for her sister, which I think is absolutely incredible. So thank you, Geraldine. And thank you, everyone who made this birthday this year very special. It's been a rough time for my family, but I have another family here online, a community of people that has given this time in my life a purpose that I was not expecting. So thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I didn't ham it up too much, did I? But yeah, those were sincere thanks. Let me see. A blessed good morning to all. Thank you so much, Rosalind Wade. Or is it Rosalind Wade? Rosalind Wade. Oh, and don't forget you all to watch the Masaka Kids. I am going to put it on and do some work that I need to do. I'm going to be up for a while, so I got to get myself back on an earlier schedule, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, I am just wide awake right now. Oh, thank you, Sussex Team Warrior. Thank you, Bunny Rose. Oh, you got yours. Oh, you're not going to open it? All right. So I should have opened mine, huh? I wanted to go through it, though. But I understand it is better if you keep it sealed. It retains value. But then, you still have it close to you, even if you don't open it, and that's pretty cool. And also, one of the squatties sent me the book from the exhibit at the Met Museum. The oh gosh, I cannot remember the name of it, but anyway, it features the dandy. Oh well, you know which one I was talking about. So, oh my God, I love having that. I mean, it's nice having interesting things like that. I always say, fill your home with art that inspires you. Have an artwork around your home of any kind, books, which is also a work of art. And of course, a painting. You can find yourself a nice painting at a thrift store. You can order a print of some of your favorites I have Sunday in the Park with George. And believe it or not, I even have a Mona Lisa. I mean, it's just something familiar and endearing about having a print of the Mona Lisa and a few other favorites. Oh, thank you so much, the Saminya. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. And I do want you guys to know I try to make sure that I maintain a certain level of quality with this work because I feel like you guys deserve that. And it's what I want to do myself. So sometimes when I'm taking so long, I am being a bit of a perfectionist. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I use various backgrounds for the images. I never just throw them up there. I want to create something that's visually or aesthetically pleasing. So I have a file of photos that are nothing but, well, this I got from Feminagra, but it's nothing but backgrounds. So when I want to poke fun at someone, I have this. Um, something I want it to be aesthetically pleasing, something interesting other than just having the photo stuck there. So I take the time to do that practically every day. Tell you what, though, I really miss Petal, and I miss the Lady Sussex and Juanita of My Duke and I. Yes, it is 11:39 a.m. in South Africa. Really? Wow. Well, good morning to you, or good afternoon, whenever that happens. Let's see. My favorite art idea from local artist that painted pictures of his daughter playing in fields of flowers with her imaginary friend. It gives me joy seeing them. I have a series that is wonderful. I love hearing that. I really do. I know I've told this story before, but just in case you haven't heard it before, I used to work in a cubicle at one of my jobs, and one whole side of the cubicle was well, I had one side, the other person had the other side, and we both worked out of this big cubicle. And I did not put any like obsolete stuff on my bulletin board, the little board where you put the tacks or pins or whatever, the whole stuff. What I did was I took postcards that may have had like, I don't know, whatever artwork. You know how when you go to a museum and they sell postcards with artwork from like whatever museum you go to? Well, I saved those, and I one day I said, I'm going to take these to work. And so I put them on my bulletin board, and I took some white paper to create like a nice border for the pictures, like they were in a bigger frame. And I was working in a section called 81. So I called that area of the cubicle Gallery 81. And do you know, when people at work needed to take a break from the production floor, they would come over there to my cubicle and they would just sit. And I say, "Can I help you with something?" They said, "No, I just come over here to look at the pictures." That was their place to meditate and think and imagine or just relax. They would come over to my cubicle and sit there and look at all of these pictures. Now, there was no smartphones back in those days, so I do not have a photo of it, but I called it Gallery 81, and I printed out, you know, a little sign to put up there welcome to Gallery 81 or whatever it said. But yeah, that was just something I did for myself. And in no time, other people were coming over there just to sit and relax. Oh, wow. Oh, well, thank you very much. What's that? Oh, absolutely, Penny Wiseman. Absolutely. You guys, listen, I know it may sound a little superficial, but earlier today, I ate a muffin. And of course, what does it take to get a butter dish? So I put the butter dish on the wish list and someone got it for me. And every time I use it, I'm like, one of my people got this for me. It's just like a hug. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what the price was. It's just like a hug from you guys. It really is. And it's like little reminders for me every day. And even without that, every card that I've received, postcards, I save all of those. Now they're scattered all over the place. Who knows where all of them are? But I save those. When I was putting up my Christmas tree, there's a little snowman card that Connie Balmer sent me, like a 3D card, and it went right back under the tree this year. I put it right back under the tree because that's from my family. I save it because it's from my family. So yeah, I do feel loved. I feel appreciated. And I try every day not to let you guys down. I try to make sure that everything is as quality as possible. So thank you for your comment. Let me see. Do I have that? I know I took a picture of it. Yep, I have a Sussex Squad butter dish, and I am proud of it. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Not the butter dish. I want to show my card. Oh yeah, by the way, you guys, don't forget we are going to be here New Year's Eve. Every year for New Year's, we stay up all night wishing Happy New Year to the. Oh, there it is right there. There it is right there. This is my Connie Balmer uh, Christmas card. See there? And back under the tree it goes. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's 3D. The candy cane, the snowman, it's a 3D card. And I'm going to use it again next year. Oh, that's a good idea. You know what? I need a wreath. And I don't want to get a live one again. I want to get one that I could use every year. But I'm so fussy. It takes me a while before I can figure out which one I want. So I have to hurry up because if I don't get it soon, then they won't have much to choose from or it may not arrive in time. So, yep, I got to get a wreath. I got like it's an acrylic hanger. You just hang it over the door and it'll hold it up. So I do have that to to hold it up and everything, but I just got to pick one out. But I don't want to get a live one anymore. So let me see. Oh, great to know that Baron as oh, your birthday is on Christmas Eve. Well, we will be here Christmas Eve too. Did I say Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve. Yeah, I meant New Year's Eve in case I didn't say that. But yeah, we'll be here Christmas Eve too. Oh, and please don't let me forget it's your birthday because, it'll slip my mind. But we definitely want to have a little dance off for your birthday. All right. Also, if you all are interested in sending a Christmas card, let me give you the address. There it is. If you are interested in sending a Christmas card, that is the mailing address. Royal Sussex, 140 West Taylor Street, number 523, Chicago, Illinois, 60607. I do not live there, so do not show up wearing nothing but a raincoat, slippers, and a smile. I do not live there. So if you are looking to share more than a card, I appreciate that, but I will not be there. Yep, I will not be there. Yeah, I'm gonna I have to go and join the my two nieces. I have to go and join them for Christmas because my sister passed away in 2024. So I'm going to spend Christmas with them again. And, just to make sure that they're getting the support they need and also their family. And I got other family that'll be there. So, but yeah, they're wonderful. And I want to make sure that I'm there for them. So I will do that again this year. And it is kind of weird because usually I would go to see my sister, and um, it was eerily normal, as much as normal could be. I mean, it's not like we avoided talking about my sister or anything. It just felt like she was there. It just felt like she was just gonna, you know, walk through the door at any minute, which is a good feeling because it felt like she was there with us. Okay, any other comments before we go? We'll have to do a members only again soon. Got to do at least one more before the end of the year. I am bidding you all a good night and good morning. Talk to you later, squatty folks. Mod Squad and Baron, thank you for creating this space for us. Thank you all for creating this space for us. It wouldn't be a space without everyone, but thank you. Wow, really? Oh, that is so cool. That is so cool. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Thank you so much. Yeah, that that makes my day. I love hearing that. Okay, I should say goodnight and save what's left of my voice. I have been struggling the past couple of days. I'm taking something for it, but I should also not push it too much. But gosh, I was on yesterday. I was singing yesterday, wasn't I? I had so much fun last night. I really had fun last night. Give me a television theme song, and that makes even the worst days great. So um, imagine what it does when you're already having a good day. I got to tell you guys something that I did before I go. Okay, I was in the what is it, Home Depot. I had to get some more Christmas lights, and I promise I'm not buying no more lights this year. Ain't buying nothing else. If these lights don't work out, too bad. I took the wrong lights back to Ace Hardware, and I went to Home Depot. I don't know why I go to hardware stores looking for Christmas stuff, but I do. And I saw this couple. They look so out of place. They look so out of place. When I tell you that this was the most attractive couple that I have seen in ages. And I told them too, I said, you guys are the most attractive couple I've seen all day. And they just laughed and they were like, "Oh, thank you so much." And the lady, she said, "Well, you should know we're actually going to dinner after this." I said, "Oh, well, doesn't matter." I said, "You guys look amazing." They were like very, very well dressed. They looked like quiet luxury, right? They looked like quiet luxury. That's how well dressed they were. She had on this beautiful scarf. He had on a turtleneck and what looked like a camel hair coat or whatever. Beautiful couple. So I had to say something. I had to say something. I'm like, you guys are beautiful. Sandra, I didn't know you were here. I had fun too. I had fun too. I know, and next thing you know, it's a whole nother hour, but not this time. Not this time. And you know what? When I look and I'm like, oh well, it's almost 3 hours. Might as well wait another 15 minutes. Okay. All right. That's it. Love you guys. I'll see you next time. Let's close with Madam Duchess. Let's close with Madam Duchess.